What's good, everyone? This is Dr. Nee Darko. Make sure you hit the subscribe button below so that you're always up to date on the new uploads as well as alerts on this show. The other thing that you can do to help build this community is make sure you leave a comment below. Let us know what you like, what you don't like about the show, and ultimately, let us know who's winning these arguments, because I need to know that I'm beating Renee in these debates. Run the tape. Now, should someone a physician who's reading your book, is there a possibility that they can get a different message depending on where they reside or where they practice? Like a physician who reads your book, who's from, a populous city area, Houston, Los Angeles, Atlanta, New York City, versus a physician who works in the middle of, the Midwest, Pennsylvania. You know what I'm talking about. Can they get or glean two different messages or different messages from your book depending on where they practice at?
I think so. I mean, quite frankly, this is how we approach any other kind of risk, risk prevention or risk reduction strategy, right? I mean, you talk to your patients, wear your seatbelt,
right,
when they're leaving the trauma ICU or whatever, like you're discharging them home, like wear your seatbelt, wear a helmet if you're riding a bike or a motorcycle, that kind of thing. This is the same sort of situation.
Actually, I tell them never get back on a motorcycle again, actually.
Well, that's fair. That's fair. You can never.
I can't lie. I tell them. Yeah.
But again, you can't command that of them, right? You can tell them what your recommendation is. You can tell them your personal history, what you've seen and everything. You tell them, the science says you're going to at least be more likely to survive it if you're inside of a car with a ceiling and walls than if you're thrown off of a two-wheeled vehicle with nothing around you, right? And that's the best sometimes we can do, is give people the information. So yeah, everybody I think is going to approach it from their own perspective. I think gun owners are going to approach it one way, non-gun owners are going to approach it another way. The main point is that we have a conversation.
Okay, so for a doc who's listening to this, med student who's listening to this right now, they read this book. What's the easiest thing they can do right now to even start the conversation, to say, I want to do my part in trying to reduce gun violence. I want to do my part to, this is America's gun epidemic. What can I do to change that? What do you want them to get from this? What can they do? Excuse me.
This is our lane. That's the main point. That's the last 4 words in the book. Essentially is, we have a right to talk about this, just like we have a right to tell our patients to not get on a motorcycle again or to wear their seatbelt when they get in a car. So we have those rights to do that as physicians, and we shouldn't have a gag order put in front of us, much like Florida tried to do to their pediatricians years ago and got overturned, because we do have free speech rights as physicians to say what we need to say to our patients to make them safe and healthy. Now, if you happen to be a gun owner that's also a physician, there's a second message. That second message is store your guns safely.
You think that's true. That's probably docs. Yeah, that's probably docs who, they're not listening or at least practicing what you would think they would want to preach, which is like what you said. Not everybody. Yeah.
Well, I was one of them.
You didn't lock your stuff up?
Nope. Not until my kid turned 4, got his remote control that we hold up on the mantle in front of the TV, pulled his little tiny chair out, slid it up there, got up on the mantle, and, got the remote. When I saw that, I was like, I got to lock this thing up, because my gun's not even that high up, in a drawer somewhere.
Now, yours is that I've been exposed to guns, as a kid and I like to shoot them, or is it just for protection? What's your motivations?
So mine started out as a protective motivation. So we moved into Houston within a couple months of moving into, the middle of the city. We actually got robbed, or burglarized, I guess, not robbed. Someone broke into the house and, I showed up after shift, found the back door busted in, all that kind of stuff. The next day, my wife went to the store, bought some guns. She's the real Texan, so.
Oh, so she don't play.
Yeah, nah. So, and so, that's why we started being gun owners, I would say. After that, once you get guns, they're fun to go to the range and shoot. I mean, you're a surgeon. It's about dexterity and hand-eye coordination, all that stuff.
It's the destructive capability that's still kind of. So I had an experience where I was in Georgia when I was training at Morehouse,
Yeah.
and I did something that was near Columbus, Georgia. So
Hmm.
we went a little bit into Alabama and went to a gun range, and it was. I'll leave it to like this: like the doctor had an AR-15,
Yeah.
had some other things. It was as exhilarating as it was scary,
Oh
also
yeah.
at the same time. It was just like, wow, like
Yeah.
we're shooting at targets and stuff like that on a gun range safely, but you get this adrenaline rush, but then it's also like, damn, like the destructive capability of this, is just, it's crazy. So,
Absolutely. Like that, the first time I went shooting was in college. I took a course that was taught in Spelman. I went to Morehouse undergrad. So you're allowed to cross register. So I took this class called outdoor education. We did like camping and hiking and all this other stuff. And one of the things was going skeet shooting. So that's where I learned to shoot a firearm. I feel like I didn't actually appreciate it until I had my own guns. And then going to the range to shoot. We actually had one of our nurse practitioners teach us how to shoot because he's former military and actually can source things that are even more professional than an AR-15, right? So we actually shot an M4 rifle, which again, it shoots like a breeze. And I'd agree with you. It's the exact same thing you're talking about where it's
wow.
exhilarating, but then at the same time you realize if it's this easy to shoot, you can see how easy it is to mow people down
Yeah.
from a long distance as well, So again, I get the whole assault weapons ban thing. I don't think it would be wrong to do in that sense. But from the evidence-based perspective, that's why I'm saying I'll be agnostic on it.
Mm. Well, there it is, guys. That's Dr. Cedric Dark, author of Under the Gun, an ER doctor's cure for America's gun epidemic. Guys, you can get this on Amazon right now. I got my pre-order in, but it's available on Amazon. We'll put the links in the show notes. And Dr. Cedric, man, I'm proud of you, man. Guys, we go as far back as med school. We didn't go to the same med school, but we know each other as far back as med school. And I just want to say I'm really proud of like the strides that you've made and stuff. And you done made it. So, I wish you all the luck in promoting this book. I hope it reaches and gets out to as many people as possible. And I hope that this is part of literally the solution to the gun epidemic that we have right now, because we definitely need a solution right now. So, Dr. Cedric Dark, thank you for coming on Docs Outside the Box, man. We appreciate it, bro.
Thank you so much. Good seeing you, man.